Good day, Chief here for Chief Tells Tales CTT. This is part 2 of What Did We Do? As I said last week, it took a CW3 to raise his voice in a foyer, hallway, whatever your entranceway, whatever you want to call that big area. He didn't have to raise his voice to talk to all of us. But for him to start it there, and then, like I said, it continued on at our barracks. I don't know if somebody called down. Now I want to preface today because at the very beginning when we became the Purple Pharaohs, in our very first day of class, we got marched down to the classroom area, or the building, and 2 TAC officers came with us, and the 2 of them proceeded to follow us into the classroom and sit down from anywhere from 5 to 10, 15 minutes. I don't know how long they sat there. The instructor did that, the cocking of the head, like, what's going on? But we didn't register that. We thought this was normal. We didn't know any difference. So after the 5, 10, 15 minutes when the TAC officers left, the instructor kind of cocked his head, made sure the door was closed because the doors were all to the side of the classroom in the back. And he said, "I've never seen that happen." And we're like, "What?" He said, "I've never seen TAC officers come in with the class and sit down." So maybe we were being set up from the very beginning. I don't know. So as I said last week, it just snowballed from being yelled at by a CW3 that none of us ever got his name. We couldn't, because when we got to Fort Huachuca to tell Rex Williams who this officer was, none of us had his name. So like I said, my roommate got caught. He had inspection ready items for the wall locker display stuffed in his laundry bag, and like I said, up to 15 men. I think it was up to 15 members of our class. It was probably about 1 per room, but I don't think any of the females got in trouble, if I remember correctly. We had 5 females, and I don't remember any of them being caught for anything. So, like I said, those 15 individuals had to do a presentation about integrity, and they had to teach it to all the classes and everything else. Now, also, we're class 9805. We started the first 2 weeks of December, and then we took a break. And when we came back from our Christmas break, they were shocked and surprised because they flat out told us if anybody is 1 minute late, 30 seconds late, you're out of here or you're going to get washed back into the next class. I can't remember which. They were shocked and surprised that our whole class was back. And I think the last person was there like an hour before we had to be there for the formation to say we're all back. Now, going on our Christmas breaks, they got cruel to us. They signed us all out on leave. We all got dressed in our civilian attire so we could go over and get our cars, because we had to park our cars in a track area because we couldn't see them on a regular basis. We went over once a week to start them and make sure that they were still running, because you got to start a car at least once a week if it's just sitting idle doing nothing. So we would go over there, and I had food in mind, but I didn't have anything extravagant. I had like some beef jerky and some mints, so it was nice to have some mints because I couldn't have any candy while I was in class, so I would have my mints and a little bit of beef jerky, and didn't have any drinks in there. So we did that. So like I said, they got in. We're all ready to go on Christmas leave. We're all in civilian attire. They call it formation, and then they make us do the chair where you're holding your palms out and your body is hooked like a chair. You got your knees bent and you act like you're sitting on a chair, so you're doing the chair. And they did that for like 5 minutes. And their attitude was like, yes, you guys are going on leave, but don't forget that you're coming back here type attitude. And we were the only class they did that to. None of the other classes got that done to them. So like I said, we came back, and like I said, we're there only 6 weeks. 6 weeks of school as a Purple Pharaoh, and I don't know when our transgression day was, and And I know it was at least prior to us becoming the senior class. Now I'm going to talk about that because a class is graduating every 2 weeks, or in the case when a reserve class comes in, they only got like 28 days there, so they're already on the get-go the very first day they're there because they're in school even on weekends. So that was nice having a reserve class there because that tied up some of the TAC officers to take them back and forth to schoolhouse. Also, while we were under our probation with the transgression we did, we had our class photo done, and they took us over to the helicopter museum, and they marched us over there. They walked away. 1 or 2 TAC officers came over with us, and they walked away, and the photographer, he decided that we're going to take our picture in this particular area, and he looked around and looked around and looked around. He says, are any TAC officers going to come take the photo with you? And we're like, no. He says, okay. So he took our photo. I didn't buy one. I didn't buy one because we were under the probation. I just didn't feel like it. I don't remember what the cost was, but I was just like, yeah, whatever. I didn't buy a photo. Now I wish I had. I'm kicking myself because I would like to see what my class looked like, see if I can remember half the people rather than just by their names and like, yeah, I remember him. So we're under probation. Like I said, it could have been a little bit more than a week or less than a week, because when a senior class graduates, you get in your nice attire and you run with the commandant, the main senior chief warrant officer that's in charge. And I think we had a 4. I can't remember what his rank was, the one that came in my face and asked me about my laundry that wasn't mine. So you run with him in the morning, and he takes you around a little bit, not a difficult run. And then meanwhile, the other classes, we line up in the barracks area and clap and cheer them as they come back with the commandant. And then they basically just get ready. They get in their Class A's so they can go over and get pinned. When we graduate the basic course, you're automatically a warrant officer, and that was because it used to be you stayed. I forgot to get them out. I'll get them out for next week. You remained WOC. We had WOC, warrant officer candidate, and you remained that until you graduated from your refresher course. Well, the rotor heads didn't like that because their school was 1 year, so they were basically becoming warrant officer 1 year after all of us techies just went to our 6-week, 8-week refresher course and then sent out into the world as warrant officers. And so the rotor head said, unfair, that's our class, and they're getting promoted way ahead of us, so we're behind in promotions. So, like I said, Thursday, you run with the commandant, you get ready to go to your graduation ceremony. So, we're under probation. No guidine. No caffeine rights. So that means no coffee and no soda. And we already did our song, hung our hat up on the wall so we could have caffeine rights. It was still hanging there. They didn't take it down. And they didn't give us any extra punishment while we were under probation. We thought, oh my gosh, we're going to be doing PT for like 2-3 hours every day. They're going to wake us up at old dark 30. And old dark 30, for a lot of people that don't know it, it's generally about 3:30 in the morning. We only had 1 fire drill on our class. So we thought, while we're under probation, it's just going to be total hell. Hi, Snickers. I'm talking to the air, and of course, he's got to come up and... Okay. So we didn't get any extra PT, nor did we get rifle PT, because I think rifle PT was in your second phase, which was what we call ourselves the juniors. Okay, he's got to come up in my lap. Say hello. Say Snickers hello. So Snickers is in my lap. Okay. So we didn't get the rifle PT, and the rifle PT also started at old dark 30. And what rifle PT is that you go down and you get a dummy M16, and then you do all kinds of regular sit-ups, push-ups, whatever, holding the rifle, don't let it touch the ground, and all that fine stuff. So we didn't get that, and one of our classmates almost let the cat out of the bag when we became seniors. He almost told a TAC officer, we're like, shut up. Don't you dare tell him. We don't want to do rifle PT. We went through, not too much heck, but we went through heck already. We don't need any more. So we didn't get any extra punishment because, like we said before at one of our meetings, time management is also affecting them because TAC officers can infringe on the instructor's time and the instructors can infringe on the TAC officer's time with us. Plus they also got to let us sleep. So we already had what their time management that they could harass us. And even though we had the rotor head, the helicopter pilot that got grounded and he didn't do anything extra either to us. So it was like they were just mad at us. They wanted us out of the Corps, but the only person that didn't want us out of the Corps was Rex Williams. So like I said, don't have a guide on, don't have our caffeine rights. It's a Thursday. The senior class ahead of us. The senior class ahead of us does their run. We all clap and cheer. They get ready to go to their graduation. There is a tradition at Warrant School. There is always a senior class. We're it. And that's when you take the black WOC and you pin on the brass WOC so it's nice and shiny to show people that now you're a senior warrant officer candidate. So they went through this period of time saying we should be out. Rex says no, and no final decision was ever made except we're staying. So it's a Thursday. Senior class ran. We all clapped and cheered. They graduated. There's always a senior class at Warrant School. Our instructor had to release us early for lunch that Thursday. We marched back. They marched us to our usual morning PT formation. They released us. They said, go up and get your brass. Go up and get your shiny WOC. We came back down with our WOC, and I think we went through a mild ceremony where they pinned it on us to say, congratulations, you're now a senior class member. All was forgiven. We got the senior guide on. We got all our caffeine rights back. We got our cadence calling rights back. It was just like all of a sudden everything's forgiven because our classmates had already given their briefing on integrity, and the last 2 weeks is kind of a breeze because, like I said, when you first get there, you're given 15 minutes in the morning to get out of bed, make your bed, get in your PT clothes, brush your teeth. We had to brush our teeth, go to the bathroom and everything else in 15 minutes, and wait by the door, the fire door at the end of the hallway, waiting for the whistle so you could run down and do PT. Well, of course, the first couple of weeks, we're taking almost the full 15 minutes. Everybody is. By the time you're a senior, you've got it done in 2 or 3 minutes, and everybody's standing at the door. It's like, come on. I mean, that's how our time management and how we learned to do the routine and how to make bed real quick and brush teeth. You know, some people just did that. That was brushing teeth, a little bit of toothpaste. So if they came by and said, breathe on you, they never did. They never tested us to see if we brushed our teeth or not. So like I said, it was really strange. All of a sudden, all is forgiven. And now we're seniors, and we're getting all the respects and the privileges of being a senior class. So what did we do? I still don't know to this day. I know some people violated some of the walk guide instructions, but overall, we don't know what we did for us to be ostracized and maybe cashiered out of the Warrant Officer Corps. So I got maybe a couple more videos on Warrant School. Not much left to say. So this is Chief out. Freedom's not free. Ukraine is proving that, and they're winning. So I hope everybody is praying for them. I'm praying for them. My friends who run the hotel, the wife and the two sons are at a home in Switzerland, and her husband is trying to help me find and possibly get my fiance out of the Ukraine. With all the communications down, I've lost contact with her. So that's Chief out. Remember, freedom's not free. Thank a bet. See ya.